Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 9 of the Fitness Model Prep. It is Saturday, and I'm not going to be putting up another video which is under 11 minutes long because the last video did awfully. I would quite like, although I just enjoy making these videos, I would quite like them to get some sort of sceneness, some sort of absorbance for the content. The other day I was thinking, and someone DM'd me about this, it was like, any tips on YouTube and things like that, and I was like, to be honest, I'm not doing that great on YouTube if you look at like the bigger channels and things, but just keep making content, even if it's like 50 people that watch it, because my last video was only up to like 59 views after a few hours. I was like, even if I had 59 people like in front of me here and I was like telling them this information, I would still do that, because it's that like 59 people, if you have them in front of you, it looks like quite a lot. Obviously in the YouTube world, 59 people isn't like very good, but in the sense of people actually absorbing the content, it's pretty good. Moving on, we've got leg day today, so let's go. Oh, and this morning was a Nuala weigh-in, so I'm very much going to enjoy a slight refeed or just untracked meal tonight with my GF. Oh, the shoulders are sore. Yesterday was back day and the day before that was shoulder day, but because I took 5 days off the gym, I'm feeling the effects of it quite a lot more. So it's quite normal once you've had. If you can't tell, I'm in quite a good mood today. I've had 2 new people joining this week, joining my online clients, so the team is growing quite strong quite quickly, and it's quite a rewarding process. You obviously hear quite a lot about people's background, what they've been through. Some people come to me and they've had like eating disorders in the past. Although that can be quite a difficult thing sometimes to coach, it is quite rewarding when somebody says like, I'm eating and I'm not feeling anxious about it, or you just get small bits of progress with their disorder. And obviously physical like changes to people's body is very rewarding as well, because you can see that, but a mental change is that hits you in the feels, you know. The mixture between Kraken Pump in Bombsicle and Kraken pre-workout in Sour Gummy is rather tasty. You do need to use a little bit more water though. I find before I train legs, if I take a lot of stimulants, or what I would count as a lot of stimulants, I don't get as good a session. I just feel a bit sick and like overstimulated, because obviously when you're training legs, you're quite like elevated anyway. And then I also find it's quite difficult to kind of bring my chill zone back down after training legs. So if you have a lot of stimulants like in a pre-workout and then you go and train legs, it's more difficult, I find, to get down like your heart rate and blood pressure and kind of things like that. So ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a leg workout voiceover. You lucky jammy dodgers, I hope you're all doing well. So a little bit of a warm-up clip at the beginning. As you saw, just some very quick dynamic movements, making sure I'm moving my hips, moving my knees, bit of joint work, making sure that the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, the hip flexors, the adductors, all are kind of getting a little bit of movement. Now, as some of you may know, I very much struggle with squats due to my very awful knee joints. So to mitigate that, I've done box squats, pin squats. I've moved around with different kinds of squat variations. Anything going below parallel for me is incredibly painful, and that's not just somebody saying I can't squat to depth for an excuse. I really wish I could squat to depth without pain, because I think it's an incredibly good movement. I wouldn't recommend to anybody to do box squats unless it's something which actually is limited by your body. So if you can choose, always choose a regular conventional ass to grass squat. Box squat is a good way of building strength in a portion of a squat, but for range of movement purposes, always go for a squat. This exercise is an incline squat machine. It's actually not too bad. At the beginning when I first used it, I really didn't get on with the movement. I've started to change different feet positions and things like that, and I'm not finding it as bad. So worked my way up in weight quite considerably since the very beginning of this block, or last block, as at the beginning of a new exercise I tend to be a little bit more conservative, but now I'm getting confidence up with that exercise. I'm taking the numbers up a little bit higher. It's not like a hack squat. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it's not like a hack squat or a leg press. Next, we're going on to some hamstring work. I'm putting hamstrings on both of my leg days. So this is a banded RDL. The reason we're doing them banded is to have more glute and hamstring activation. I'm mainly focusing on the hamstring activation element, as my glutes are plenty big enough. But the RDL, we're trying to stretch through the hamstrings and really force your hips forward at the top, pushing against that band. This movement is brilliant for hamstrings, but also to develop your deadlift strength a lot better. So I would highly recommend that you put in some sort of a deadlift variation in your training cycle, whether that's 1 leg day or 2 leg days, but just be careful of lower back loading. You don't want to be loading your lower back multiple times a week with heavy load. This was a new exercise for me. It's a static lunge with a barbell. So new exercise. I'm kind of just focusing this week on the form. I did take it up with an additional 10 kilos on my next set after this, but I only filmed the 1 set just to make sure I had the form. And then once I'm confident that I've got the form, then I really smash the weights and I drive for more progress, seeing the numbers increase week to week. But the first week is always focusing on getting the movement pattern. As you can see here, we've got some leg isolations, bit of the fluff stuff. I'll fast forward all this kind of stuff, and then still with puny little calves, but I've got to put in the calf isolations just to try and help them to grow a little bit, although they're incredibly stubborn. So that's some calf on the incline squat machine. Now this exercise I'm not going to speed up, because this is a exercise which I put into the end part of my last training cycle, and I've kept it in for this training cycle. It is a single leg hamstring cable curl. So if you haven't got a lying leg curl machine, I would recommend you trying this. And even if you do, I would also recommend you try this just for what you can do at the end of the reps. You could probably do it in a way, but you'll see in a second, after I go to the reps in which I've set myself on the hamstring curl, I get to a position where I can't really perform anymore with a good form. So then after I've gotten to that sort of failure point, not full failure, but failure point, I will bring my other foot up, as you can see here, and I assist myself up and then control the negative. Assist up and then control the negative. And that's really just taking the movement to a little bit further than form failure. So you're basically just controlling the negatives, which is a good way of really putting some extra volume into your hamstrings. And hamstrings is definitely something I want to bring up a lot this next off season. So after these photo shoots are done, I'm going to be really smashing my hamstrings a lot. Probably not so much doing deadlifts and things of that nature, as they're not really the best for isolating the hamstring. It's obviously a great movement, but not really the best for hamstring activation. So that's the kind of aim for the next off season, is to really get some pop in, nice low hanging hamstrings for if I'm going to step on stage and do anything with without board shorts. Then I'm going to need some hamstrings really swooping down in there. So yep, that's the next focus for the next off season. morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, so the weekend is over, unfortunately. Had a nice weekend though. It was very nice. Good time to spend some time with my girlfriend and go out for a little bit of food. Weight is still the same, so the off-track meal didn't make any damage, so that's good. I'm thinking I'm just gonna kind of maintain my current level of condition for the next 14 days. Is it 14 days? 13 days. Holy snack. Yes, for the next 13 days. So that is the plan of action. And today I'm going to be training push. But before I train push, let's talk about some pre-workouts again. What I would do. Okay, ladies and gents, so remember a few weeks back I tried this, which is an intra workout. I very much enjoyed it and I'm still using it now. Pumps are really good, sustained energy. I don't feel like I'm losing my level of sugar. Like, I don't feel like I'm crashing or anything after my session. So very much enjoy this. So I thought I would try their pre-workout, which is a brand new pre-workout which they've just brought out. This is called StimuMax Black, the Black Edition. It only comes in green apple. They have StimuMax other pre-workouts in different flavors, but brand new. I thought I would give this a little bit of a review. So the serving size is 1 scoop. You get 250 milligrams of caffeine, which is good. I don't like pre-workouts that rely on caffeine so much. Like, there's some pre-workouts which are like 350, 400 milligrams of caffeine, and it's like, yes, you get a lot of energy, but it's because of the caffeine, so you're just going to have a big crash afterwards. After the caffeine's sort of worn off a little bit, you're going to sink. So like that it doesn't have a massive amount of caffeine in it. Good amount of citrulline malate at 6 grams, 6,000 milligrams. Beta-alanine 3.2 milligrams, which is good as well. Anything from 3 to 4. 3.2 is like the clinical dose, I believe. But anything from 3 to 4 is pretty good. L-taurazine and acetyl L-taurazine. 1,000 milligrams, which is good. We've got jugulans, whole fruit, 200 milligrams, and the very good cognitive, I think it's a cognitive enhancer, or like sustained energy. I can never say this word. Keelan Afrikaans, Kili. Sausage tree extract. I didn't realise it was called sausage tree extract, but anyway. So 1 scoop in 200 to 300 milligrams of water, milliliters. That is definitely green apple. So flavour is decent. It's kind of your standard green apple flavour, I would say. Scoop is on the top, which is always a plus. Take a nice level scoop. And if you don't have a funnel in your life, you need to get a funnel. Well, that's about 500 ml of water. Now, they said to take this about 40 to 30 minutes before you train, because it takes a little bit longer to kick in. So I'm not going to take that just yet, but for a proper flavour test, we'll do a dab test. That is very nice. That is very good. It's your classic green apple flavour. No like chemically aftertaste, which is good. I'm going to mix my intra workout up and then we'll go to the gym.
One video and 2 voiceovers. What is going on? I know, it's a madness. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. If you are, don't forget to give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe. If you are going to subscribe, hit that notification bell as well, because if you don't do that, you'll never know when I put out a video, because YouTube just doesn't like to tell people that you put out a video. Anyway, so my feeling on StimuMax Black Edition, pretty damn good. Like a very strong and clean energy, I would say, from StimuMax Black. The flavour, I would put it at an 8 out of 10, because it's pretty much just a standard green apple flavour. Nothing wrong with it. No chemically aftertaste, which is always a plus, which you do get with some pre-workouts. Mixability, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It mixed pretty easy in the bottle, a little bit of fine dust at the bottom, but another shake and it was all in there. So no need for one of those blender bottles or anything like that. You don't need the blend ball to go in there, so that was all good. Energy, I'm gonna have to give it like a 9.5 out of 10. It was very good energy, very, very good. Focus as well, I put like a 9.5 to 10. It was very, very good. Like, I would consider taking it on a night out or something like that. It was very good. There was one point where I was warming up, did my lateral raises to warm up my shoulders, and I was literally just staring at myself in the mirror, and I kind of like zoned out a little bit. So yeah, overall, very good pre-workout. The crash I haven't really experienced. It's now 5:15 and I trained at about 11 o'clock, and no noticeable crash anyway. So, and you can even see me there, like I was like, oh, okay, that felt pretty easy. Like my sets, my weights felt pretty good. I felt like a good pump as well, which is nice from a pre-workout which is more focused on focus and energy. There was a decent amount of pump in there as well from the citrulline malate and beta-alanine. So yeah, it was a good push workout overall. Enjoyed it very much, and Stimumax is definitely something which I'll be taking again. So far I haven't had any bad experiences with the Strom sports nutrition products, so I'm very much looking forward to trying more of their products. I'd like to try the Vascumax as well. That looked very good. So on to the training and the workout portion. This was a chest, shoulders and triceps workout. We started off with some cable lateral raises, then went into dumbbell shoulder press, and I'm putting my dumbbell shoulder press at a little bit less of an incline at the moment, just to hit a little bit more upper chest. And then now we're on an incline press machine here, which, if you haven't already used ropes or something underneath the handles, just to get it out of the hole at the bottom, I would highly recommend doing that. It's very much more forgiving on the shoulders. Then here we've got lateral raises. I'm doing them leaning. You can't really see from the angle, but I'm leaning away from the dipping station. I'm holding on with one hand, trying to get like a 45, well, just under 45 or just over 45 degree angle for my body away from the wall. And we're going for a single lateral raise. The best way to describe on the control of this weight is, imagine like you're going to put the weight softly up on a shelf, which is going to mean that you're going to try and control the negative and fight the negative as much as you can. I'm okay with a little bit of momentum to get the dumbbell up, but you've really got to fight the weight on the way back down. So that's a very good tip for dumbbell lateral raises. And of course, lateral raises or any exercise which is hitting the lateral head of the shoulder is what's going to give you that width in your shoulders. It will really change up the shape of your shoulders. So as you can see, and I showed earlier on in the video, this is the current level of condition. I'm not looking at changing anything further with fat loss. I'm going to fill out a little bit more. I'm taking my calories up this week to maintenance. I was going to just below maintenance before, but I'm very happy with my level of condition. It is a photo shoot, it's not a competition or anything, so I'm not looking to be dick skin shredded, I'm not looking to be peeled. It's just a photo shoot which I'm going to need to be lean for and have abs and some definition, some veins and some striations. We're not looking to be peeled. So yeah, the calories are going back up again, which is nice. Here is a rear delt exercise which I've kept in for several blocks now, and I've literally, the only thing that I've changed is the height of the cables. I find it's a very, very good way of getting further range of movement than like a reverse pec deck. Also, the contraction I find is a lot better. Just you have to fight the negative again on this. Anything to do with shoulders, if you're fighting the negative, you're going in the right direction. So I find also you can kind of change into like a face pull once you've hit failure on these. This is a new exercise for me. plate front raisers. Before I was doing dumbbell front raisers, but I've decided to do seated plate front raisers just to mix things up a little bit. I may stick with these for the whole block, I don't know. It was a little bit of a off exercise for me, didn't feel quite right in some areas, so it may change a little bit later on. I felt for some reason that I was kind of using my chest a little bit at the top of the exercise, which yeah, it's not really the idea of this exercise. It's supposed to be more front delt, so yeah, that may change. And then we went on to some occluded tricep work, 17 reps, 5 sets with a 20-second rest in between. You get a ridiculous pump with these. I'm using the Bear Grip occlusion straps. If you want to use those, you can pick up a pair from beargrips.co.uk with the discount code 7030fit. I get nothing from that, it's just simply a discount code for you guys. They know that I've sent you, but I get nothing in return for it. And if you haven't tried occlusion work already, I will put out a video later on how to do occlusion work, but it's awesome.